evening, everyone. Rob Desai here with the tropical weather update for October 15, 2018. And as we take a look at the Atlantic side today, things do remain relatively quiet. I say relatively because we do have our Invest 94L, which is currently bringing some pretty heavy rain showers in areas of Central America. Also in the East Pacific, we do have Tropical Storm Tara now impacting Mexico, and we do have another disturbance that is forecast to develop in the future. And now looking at the 5-day outlook from the Hurricane Center, you can see that for 94L, the chance of development has gone up. For now, it's 40%. Yesterday, the last time I did an update, I believe it was only around 10 or 20%. So the chance is increasing as it is moving further north than expected, which means it will spend some more time over the Caribbean waters instead of land, but it will be moving inland regardless soon enough. So the time is running short. It is living on some borrowed time, however, so it does have a little bit more time to possibly get together, and if it develops quickly, it could develop into a depression or a weak tropical storm within the next 24 hours. And looking at the East Pacific, we do have a new disturbance that's forecast to develop. 80% chance of development within the next 5 days. So again, the East Pacific does remain active, and of course we do have Tropical Storm Tara, which is now a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm with a central pressure of 1,000 millibars. The thing's barely moving; it's only moving at 2 miles an hour. And if we look at the satellite or the infrared imagery for Tara, you can see that it is looking fairly robust. There is some pretty heavy thunderstorms, and these thunderstorms are also impacting the Mexican coastline. And the wind, however, is staying pretty much offshore as the wind field is very light, but it is bringing some heavy rain, and the flooding potential is definitely there. And if you look at the 5-day cone, you can also see that we do have tropical storm watches up for the Mexican coast. It's not likely that there'll be tropical storm force winds, that's why there are only watches up, but there's a slight chance. And as you can see, it's going to be barely moving. It's forecast to just basically float to the west, sort of meandering. It's good forecast to remain a tropical storm. Originally, they did have it reaching hurricane strength, but now that is looking less likely, especially if it does continue to move slow, as it's going to be up well in cooler waters. And as you can see, by this time, Friday afternoon to Friday evening, it's still only going to be moving slightly to the west of where it is now. It might still be even bringing some rain to Mexico, so those areas of Mexico could be seeing quite a bit of rain from Tropical Storm Tara, even if it never makes landfall. If we look at the track models, you can see that they are pretty confused as to what is going to happen exactly with Tara. Most of them do have it moving to the west and eventually heading out to sea. There are a couple models that do bring it further north and eventually do bring it back inland into mainland Mexico. So there is still a chance that it could make landfall at some point. But again, regardless of landfall, it will still be bringing some rain to the Mexican coast. It will continue to do so as it is doing right now. And now looking at Invest 94L, you can see that it's bringing a lot of thunderstorm activity and some very heavy rains to Central America. Areas of northern Nicaragua and in Honduras, on the Honduras coast, are also seeing quite a bit of heavy rain from this. And that rain will continue, but also the interesting thing to notice is that the center of circulation is actually not in the middle of this thunderstorm activity. The center of 94L is actually quite a bit to the north of that. It's actually just paralleling the coast of Honduras. So this thing is actually not really fully inland. It is sort of over land, but it's also half over water at the moment. And so because of that, it could still develop. There's a chance that it could develop. Now looking at the track models, again, you can see how the center is just offshore, and it is forecast to remain over water over the next about 20 hours or so before it does end up making landfall somewhere on the Belize coast. And then by then its window will be shut for development, as it's not forecast by most models to reemerge over the Bay of Campeche. But even if it does reemerge over the Bay of Campeche, it's not likely to develop, as it will have only a limited amount of time to develop there. And if we look at the current conditions, the wind shear over the Western Caribbean, where 94L will be heading into over the next day, You can see that the conditions are not super ideal. There's wind shear about 20 knots, so there's some moderate wind shear in the area. So again, though it is possible that 94L could develop, but the conditions are not perfect for development. They are relatively ideal, but again, like this thing doesn't have much time to develop. If it had more time over open waters, then it probably would develop. But because it has less than 24 hours, it's really not that likely that 94L is going to develop into a named storm. Definitely not likely for named storm. But even for depression, it's not looking super likely, especially the more time it's spent, it remains disorganized. Now, if we look at the intensity forecasts for what the models show for 94L, you can see that it's basically pretty divided, where most of the models most of the models do have it approaching tropical storm strength, and quite a few do have it reaching tropical storm strength. But again, after it does make impact or head into land, into Belize, it will weaken, and then the window will basically be shut for tropical development. Or maybe if it does reemerge over the eastern Pacific, it could develop eventually. But as far as the Atlantic basin goes, it's not looking likely for it to develop. Now looking at the computer models, looking at the European model for the next few days to see what we can expect. The European model does not show any development whatsoever. It does have an area of low pressure though around day 5, but does not develop that into anything. So the tropics do remain quiet for the next several days, which is some great news. And if we compare with the 18Z GFS, which is just coming out now, the GFS is also showing a similar scenario, showing very quiet tropics over the next several days. The East Pacific, of course, does still have some tropical activity, as it does show a hurricane just off the coast of Mexico, which would be that disturbance with an 80% chance of development within the next 5 days. But again, the development in the Atlantic is not looking likely at all for the next several days. So the tropics in the Atlantic do look to be quiet, which is typical for this time of the year, as we are heading into late October, and so the chance of tropical cyclone development is starting to decline pretty rapidly. And now looking at what's going on in the U.S., we do have this cold front that's spanning from upstate New York all the way down into Texas, and that's bringing some showers, mostly bringing some heavy rain showers. Some very heavy rain actually going on here in areas of Louisiana and in much of inland Texas. And then further north, there are some less heavy showers, but there's quite a bit of rain going on in areas of the Midwest and Kentucky, and also in areas of West Virginia. And there's some lighter rain showers impacting regions of Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey at the moment. And of course, as after that does move through, and after this frontal boundary does push through, we will be seeing chillier temperatures returning again. Today was quite a mild day with temperatures mostly around 70, but we'll be seeing temperatures back into the 50s, even maybe into the 40s only for highs as we head later into the week. But first, looking at the precip forecast for the next few days, you can see that there are a few chances for some snowflakes happening in upstate New York and in areas of New England later tonight into early tomorrow morning. Then it does clear out for the rest of Tuesday into Wednesday. And we do have another chance, however, Wednesday evening into early Thursday morning for some rain and some snow showers for regions of Pennsylvania and upstate New York and other areas of New England. And then there are also, it's going to be clearing out though, however, once we do it into Thursday evening. And then the rest of Friday looks clear, but then Saturday we do have a chance for some very heavy rain showers for areas of the Carolinas, some less heavy rain for areas for the north into Virginia, the Delmarva, and areas of New Jersey, but there's still the potential for some fairly heavy rain for next weekend. Now looking at the temperature forecast, for Monday rather, you can see at the 18Z GFS that today again was quite a mild day. We did have temperatures in the mid to upper 60s for much of Jersey and for areas of Pennsylvania. We also had some warmer temperatures in the 80s, summer-like temperatures down south. But then it is going to cool down as the cold front does move through. And then Tuesday, it's looking more seasonable, temperatures mostly in the mid to upper 50s. Wednesday is looking the same, mostly 50s, but colder temperatures in areas for the north and higher elevations, only in the upper 30s for areas of upstate New York. And Thursday morning especially, we do have some very chilly temperatures. We'll be seeing some first frost and freeze. We're probably going to be seeing some freeze warnings for much of the region. And then Thursday afternoon is looking quite chilly. Temperatures mostly in the 30s to 40s only. So definitely going to be quite chilly, especially for Friday morning and for Friday afternoon. Though it does look a little bit warmer. Temperatures rebounding back into the 50s. And then Saturday it looks quite a bit warmer, but comfortable. Temperatures mostly in the upper 50s to lower 60s. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.